I know you're probably not used to hearing such pointed statements being made because we are living in the day of the politically correct preacher. I understand that. But it's probably too late for that because we are right now staring in the eyes of a one-world government system, and we're watching the interfaith movement took place. You're looking at a person that went to the Constitution signing for the United Religions Organization in Pittsburgh, June 26th of 2000. They had the signing that day because that was the anniversary of the Constitution signing for the United Nations, and they understood full well that they were creating a sister organization to the United Nations called the United Religions. And their goal is to bring the religions together like the United Nations has now brought the nations together until the nations of the world are unified in fighting their common enemies. They call it the world community. Well, guess what they're going to call the United Religions Organization? Probably the world religions or the world church. They're moving in that direction very fast. I sat in that Constitution signing. I saw Jews, Protestants, Catholics, Buddhists, Hindus, Muslims, Wiccans. A Wiccan is a witch. I saw indigenous people. That's the people who worship the Great White Spirit, Native Americans. I saw them all there worshiping together. And I was there as an observer. I saw a Hindu lady lead in prayer. She sat in the lotus position on a piano bench and she began to pray. After she prayed for a while, she broke into a chant and she said, And I heard a faint refrain from the congregation, which I did not anticipate. I'd never been in that kind of a situation before. I heard the congregation answer, She came back a little louder with another, And the congregation got louder, and then she got louder, and then they got louder. And before long, everything in the place was amming except me. I knew that that was a chant used to worship Mother Earth. I had read it several years before. And here I'm watching all these earth worshipers worshiping the creature rather than the creator. In that ceremony, a call came from the United Nations, which was broadcast to the entire congregation, congratulating them on this historic step forward. The fact is, it was a huge leap backwards into paganism. I watched it all happening, and I was absolutely astounded. After the meeting, the person over our website who was with me, Dan Barkley, walked up to the lady who was doing the internet for the service. She was conducting the webcasting. She had a 5-pointed star on a band on her head and a half moon. And Dan, being Dan, looked at her and said, I'm interested in your webcast, and I do the website for my ministry. I wonder, though, what's that headband you got on mean? She said, I'm a Wiccan. And she said, these are the signs that we use. She was saying, I am a witch. A witch was doing the broadcasting for the United Religions. Catholics were there. The Catholic priest, a man by the name of O'Rourke, stepped forward. And right in the middle of all the presentations, he said, it was reported in the paper yesterday that me and my fellow Catholic priests are here as observers, that we are not officially sent by the church. He said, I want you to know that that is a false report. It is simply not true. I am not here as an observer. My church sent me here. My church wants me here. I am an official delegate. I am over ecumenism and interfaithism from the city of San Francisco. I couldn't resist. After the meeting was over, I walked up to Priest O'Rourke, and I said, I was interested in the remarks you had to say, and he didn't suspect I would be there and be not in favor of all of the proceedings. I said, I'm very interested in the remarks that you had to make. I noticed that the Pope had an ecumenical service with Jews, Muslims, and Christians in the Holy Land earlier this year. When he goes into these types of meetings, is he transmitting the message that they need to embrace Jesus Christ as the Messiah? He looked at me, this Catholic priest looked at me and said, "No, that's heresy. We don't believe that at all." And I was stunned. I understood that what I read in the Roman Catholic Catechism was not something that was slipped in inadvertently. It was something that was approved all the way to the Vatican. We acknowledge that the plan of salvation also includes others who have faith in the God of Abraham, in the first place amongst whom are the Muslims. It's on page 242, 243 of the paperback edition. I went to the store and bought a copy. What in the world is going on here? Anytime Israel went after false gods, they were accused of committing whoredom. And now then we're watching alliances with all the false gods in the world.